And today we are going to host our General Secretary to present to you the highlights of the secretarial work. I'm glad the main speaker for this presentation is already in the house. I welcome everybody to this function, to this honorable presentation. Here, I'm already seeing Betty is already on. Our chief speaker is already on. And then Moindo Molamunira Annette is there. I want not to delay so much. I want to take this honor to invite the General Secretary of Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, Dr. Aron Mugaiga, to address this gathering. Thank you very much, Doctor. Are you there?
Yes, Jacob, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you live.
All
You are
right,
welcome.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jacob Okero. Jacob
Yes,
Okero is our Vice National Treasurer. Thank you for ushering me in and giving me an opportunity, first of all, to speak to the science teachers fraternity in Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, the members of the National Executive Council here with us on this platform, the leaders of the regional branches, district leadership, school leadership, and dear members from all parts of the country. Allow me take the honor, first of all, to welcome you for today's session, and also bring to you greetings from the National Secretariat. Before I dive into today's presentation, ladies and gentlemen, which has been dubbed Secretariat Operations Operational Report that was delivered to the Annual Delegates Conference on the 11th April 2026. Dear members, you are all aware we had our third Annual Delegates Conference conducted on the 11th April 2026 at North View Hotel in Tinda, Kampala. And before I dive into today's presentation, which will basically focus on that, allow me first throw a clear distinction and possibly the difference between the ADC, the Secretariat, and the National Executive Council for the benefit of the membership that could have possibly joined us today on today's platform. Ladies and gentlemen, as a union, we have our organization has structures, and our structures are headed by the Annual Delegates Conference, which is the topmost structure, the top policy organ of the union. Then below it, we have the National Executive Council, and then we have the Secretariat and other regional branches, as you may all know. Now, the role of the ADC, which sits once every year, is to, first of all, to ratify the policies that could have been developed by the National Executive Council over the year, and then ratify decisions. Now, the NEC also does the same work, but on behalf of the ADC. First of all, to formulate policies and also to take decisions that can be able to help the union to move forward. And while all that is done by the policy organs, the ADC and the NEC normally sits 3 times a year. That is mandatory sittings, but it can as well sit any other time. And then when those policies and decisions are made, they are handed over to the National Secretariat, which is charged with day-to-day activities of the union. And the Secretariat is, of course, headed by the General Secretary, and that's why I'm here today to take you through the highlights of what we presented to the ADC. Now, the other role, it is the ADC where we get the opportunity to account to the members. The leadership of the union gets opportunity to account to the members on the number of staff that have taken place over the year. And of course, we cannot convene all members at once. Therefore, we use what we call a delegate system. And every region is normally represented by 4 delegates, and we received the 4 delegates from each region, each of the 15 regions across the country. Then we were able also to be joined by representatives from other special organs, special interest groups, for example, from the Association of Science Teachers and Deputies. We are joined by 4 representatives of the teachers. Then we are also joined by representatives of the science tutors, whom we also consider as a special organ. So, ladies and gentlemen, who are already with us for today's presentation. So what I'm about to present, I am here and I've been presented with an opportunity to represent the Secretariat, which of course has staff, the technical staff that have been employed by your union. And for purposes of clarity, today as we speak, the union employs over 25 people, of which 10 are at the National Secretariat, and then 15 are distributed across the country to man our regional branches. Then we also have other employees by the union who man our circle, so we can take the union employees so far to 30. So you can see the union is already doing well to provide some employment opportunities to some Ugandans. So, ladies and gentlemen, having given that introduction, allow me now dive into today's presentation, which will be a summary of what we presented to the Annual Delegates Conference on 11th. And as usual, today's presentation will be divided into categories. And the first category will focus on national advocacy and policy engagement. National advocacy and the policy engagement. Here, we are going to focus on matters of national importance that the union engaged in, and also that may result into policy adjustments or engaging in other national events. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout the year 2025, that is from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025, under the National Advocacy and Policy Engagement, the union managed to conduct and sustain media engagements, especially when there are matters that concern our members, the science teachers. We tend not to sit back. We engage in media, we engage in the conversations to make sure we protect and defend the interests of the science teachers. Recently, you have been seeing us, especially when the UCE and USC exams are released by NEP, we dive into actions through media to engage the public and the government, especially in analyzing how the results and could have come out in the performance of science teachers. And as you can all know or are aware, the performance of science subjects improved in the year 2025 compared to the past years. We have also seen notable achievements by the science teachers, where now we have bigger numbers of students opting for science combinations. This is contrary to what used to happen before in the previous years. We want to thank the science teachers for this achievement. Secondly, the union continued participating into national and international deliberations, participated in Labor Day celebrations, World Teachers' Day in the Kapilipiliti district, reaffirming the role of science teachers in national development and economic transformation. I know most of you must have followed us, where we engaged in some national events in Nakapilipiliti, and we were able to represent the union in those national celebrations. Thirdly, still under national advocacy, the union is not seated as we engaged in parliamentary discussions through UPSTU. This is an organization that brings together all unions that pursue similar interests in terms of representing workers. So there was a matter relating to pension, especially towards the formulation of the pension bill 2025. So the union did not sit. As you are aware, we are representing public servants. All of you science teachers are public servants, and one day you will retire. So it was important for us to engage into this particular topic of interest to make sure that your interests, the interests of our members, are protected before you actually reach retirement. And I think the union has done quite well. Even we have many science teachers that have retired. Time and again, they have contacted us on several occasions, and we have come in to help them. There are those whose pension normally delays. Recently, this bill was intending to change the pension, how they calculate the pension. And we said, look, the formula that was being advanced was actually not pro-workers. And we came in and we took a good number of representatives, of course, headed by the national chairperson, Dr. Elon Vincent, myself alongside him, and we're able to protect the interests of science teachers. And of course, on national engagements, we have continued our engagement, national advocacy, to advocate for salary enhancement, particularly for the RCT teachers, the science administrators. DEOs have equally of recent approached us, and those who were formerly science teachers and have been promoted, the union has not sat back. We have continued to pursue their interests and advocate for better welfare of all our members. Ladies and gentlemen, I want now to dive into the second category of today's presentation, which is corporate, which is political, institutional, and international engagement. Yes.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. We have, that is still under advocacy. We hosted and participated in the World Teachers' Day. You saw us last year. We also participated in teacher social dialogue session organized by UNESCO, particularly on emerging debates around salary disparities. You know, our salary has always been contested by our sister groups. And so international organizations, of course, came up to also try to engage government to see that they can revise the salary. Whereas we do not, of course, support the salary disparities, and that has always been our position, which has always stated very clearly. We have clearly stated from the start that our interest was not to say that the science teachers earn more than our counterparts. It has always been very clear that we wanted the teachers paid better, but also we wanted the science teachers paid as scientists, because science teachers are scientists and they are the mother scientists who actually teach all the other scientists. And that has always been our contention. But the issue, which is still at hand and in the public domain, is that people have continued to portray us in a manner which actually portrays us as selfish. But we are saying, look, we are advocating for our rights as scientists, and two, we also wanted to pursue what the government was actually was pursuing to do, because they were saying, look, we want to enhance for all, but we can only handle it in phases. And they wanted to start with science. And we fought to make sure that our salaries are enhanced along as a scientist, which was done. But people continue to fight it, of course, along disparity grounds. And this, of course, brought in international organizations. Even it was taken at a higher level, but we were invited, and we had to as well defend our position. So we represented you very well, dear members, during the year 2025. Then also the union participated in the refugee law project on consideration of special membership categories for refugees. Of course, you know, our country hosts numerous refugees from various countries. In the course, refugees, it's not their make, it is as a result of other political instabilities, which of course are not mitigated by their own selves, and our country, of course, hosts them. So we are invited as a union of professionals to engage in this debate to see whether the country can, the government's decision to continue hosting the refugees is a right one, and what would be our position as professionals. And I think the union participated in that conference, and we did represent you quite well. Then we coordinated your post leadership, and it participated in the presidential nomination manifesto launch, which in which the union, of course, was invited by the ruling party, the NRM. Obviously, the union is non-partisan, but the fact that the NRM is the leading party, the party in government, of course, they invited us to participate in the launch of our dear president, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, of which we did not hesitate. We had representatives, over 20 representatives representing all of you as members, of which we participated in it at Kororo ceremonial grounds, and then later in the manifesto launch of the president at Hotel Munyonyo. And this was done quite well. Then your post-op management, the General Secretary and the National Treasurer also attended a one-week leadership and ideological training at the National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi. Right now we have, of course, some trained cadres of government, which of course continues to tighten our ties with government as a union. You know, that relationship, of course, will take us more. You know, government recently donated to us about 6.6 billion shillings by the president, and we are targeting more in the next 5 years to have at least acquired more funds from government, at least 20 billion that can be able to in our circle, that can be able to serve our growing membership. That can only be possible if we continuously engage in government programs, and going for ideological training was one of the best programs the union could engage in. And I think they are continuously training our leadership. In this year, they will be able to train more 9 members across the year until all union leadership is properly trained and oriented in the government programs. Then we have developed under partnership readiness. You know, we have sources of income, which include the membership subscription fee. But one of the other potential sources is the donations and grants. And we can only achieve that if we have to, of course, prepare ourselves to get ready to receive these donations. So the union has developed a comprehensive youth organizational profile, consolidated a 15 project pipeline covering education, gender, youth literacy, economic empowerment, and infrastructure. In the process, we have also engaged in a series of organizations with shared interest for potential partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, I've taken some time on that particular section because it is key. It is the one that opens us for national engagement, but also it opens us for international partnerships. So I've taken some time to show you how your union is faring on your behalf while you are away, of course, serving the country. For us, we are here at the National Secretariat, not seated, of course, but engaging in various programs that can be able to promote our union. And those were national engagements and international engagements for readiness for partnership. So we can now dive into the second section, which is corporate identity and institutional growth, ladies and gentlemen. Now, our union, of course, in this particular section of corporate identity, we are looking at how the union relates with, first of all, its members. Then how do we relate with the public? How do we relate with the institutions that we work in? Of course, we have members who work in government institutions. So how do we relate with the people there, the government, and our membership? So the union, of course, continues to expose its activities to the public and to the government through many engagements and documents and platforms. And one of them is that the union has developed a post calendar for the year 2026. Of course, this has been distributed to all local governments across the countries, cities, and municipalities. And also, of course, these calendars portray messages, events, advocacy programs that the union is engaged in. And when we share them, people keep, of course, interacting with us throughout the year. And whenever you go to those offices at the districts, obviously you will be able to see our calendars, which of course project information about our union. We also, for purposes of promoting corporate identity, ladies and gentlemen, the union has developed a method of generating and creating corporate wear and distribution so that our members can be able to also benefit from this corporate social responsibility and identity. And last year, over 3,000 corporate wear were distributed. These are shirts, and of course, over 3,000 caps. So the total number of items that were distributed last year by the union was 6,000 in the number. Of course, this carries a budget of slightly over 200 million shillings. Of course, this was obtained from the money you people pay as subscription fee. So over 200 million shillings was used to secure corporate wear, which of course we distributed to the members. Ladies and gentlemen, the union also has conceptualized the Post Beacon magazine as the flagship annual print publication, where Beacon represents light, innovation, guidance, and leadership, and scientific progress. The magazine will document UPSTU's impact, impact in science education, innovation, advocacy, and members' experiences regarding the dynamics of science education in Uganda. Articles, contributions, of course, we shall continue asking you, ladies and gentlemen. This magazine will be pioneered this year, and we will be asking you to, of course, contribute on some articles that can be able to make up this magazine to make it a success. Of course, we continue to make sure that we continuously engage our membership and the public through the various publications. Ladies and gentlemen, we go to section number 3 of our today's presentation, and the report that was delivered to the Annual Delegates Conference, of course, members that attended on your behalf. And the section 3 is the professional development and flagship programs. Ladies and gentlemen, under professional development and flagship programs, we have the UPSTU ProDev Hour. which of course we are interacting with you through this afternoon. And tonight we are on Prediv Hour, and I can see the membership, of course, the attendance is increasing, which of course indicates how popular this program is becoming. Under the Education Committee, headed by one of the iron ladies we have in UPSTU, Madam Betty Auma, the Education Committee is helping us to run this program, the ProDev Hour, and of course it has matured as one of UPSTU's strongest professional development platforms in 2025. Over 50 structured weekly sessions were conducted across the year. Ladies and gentlemen, that is wonderful. You can imagine 50 sessions presented across the year. Through this 1 hour, which should of course not be undermined, we learn a lot, we engage, and that is very important. Topics covered included the CBC implementation, project-based learning, assessment, reforms, labor rights, financial literacy, digital safety, gender inclusion, wellness research and publication, and retirement plan. Sessions were delivered by NCDC specialists, legal practitioners, financial experts, UNESCO officials, and experienced educators. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may not be new to this platform, obviously you know what I'm talking about. They are not new to your ears. These sessions were all delivered. And of course, the union, through the Education Committee, continues to attract highly technical professionals in various fields to come and interact with you, of course, in the various sectors, as I have highlighted. Now, the other section is Science in Action. That's another professional flagship program that was successfully run in the year 2025. I think you saw us in your schools where regional exhibition sessions were conducted across all the 15 sub-regions of the country, and the best schools were taken for the national competitions. So through the structured school visits, you post documents, how science teachers translate curriculum content into meaningful learning experiences using locally available resources, low-cost innovations, and inquiry-based approaches. Of course, on top of the science exhibitions, the union also continues to send representatives to your schools. Some of the schools where we have representatives on today's platform, I think you will agree with us. You saw our team, of course, branded in our corporate wear, smartly dressed, and of course, using our van as a means of transport. They reached you and interacted with the administration. We are trying to follow up on how the science teachers are faring, especially on the implementation of the new competence-based curriculum, and then how our science teachers are faring. And we are doing quite well. So there were school visits, for example, to Kombon College Lira. We had school visits to Sam Yiga Memorial. There were school visits to Trinity College Nabingo, mentioned but a few. And through these sessions, we were able to interact with the teachers, which of course enabled us to know how they are faring. And this, of course, puts us in a better position to know how to negotiate for them, to know how to pursue their interests, to know which challenges they are facing, and to know how to engage government more on how to better their welfare. We can proceed. The science innovation projects I already highlighted on that, and this was a success, and it was conducted it had earlier been planned to be conducted at the ICT Hub, but later we conducted it at MOOC, and it was a success. And the champion, I think, that won this exhibition was Mary Hill High School, that was gifted with a number of gifts, including sums of money in cash and the other prizes that were given to the runners-up, the second runners-up, and the students. This year, ladies and gentlemen, if I may add something to that particular section, we are going to up our game in terms of rewarding the winners. Of course, we have got your feedback from the various schools who have been getting feedback, and we will not sit back. We will consider what you have, of course, shared with us so that we can improve this program. And we are calling upon you, dear teachers, to participate in improving how this particular program can better be done, can better be improved to be of impact in our country. And of course, we are sharing various images, pictures, snapshots of this event. When you get an opportunity to look at them, of course, through our various media channels, YouTube, the website, you will be able to admire them. Now, we have this innovation program. Of course, if you are able to access this screen, you will be able to see some of the pictures that were captured from that event. Now, allow me to dive into another part, very important part, that is the gender inclusion, gender and inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, under the Women and Gender Committee, under the able leadership of one of the Iron Ladies as well from West Nile, one of the Iron Ladies I earlier mentioned heads the Education Committee, and that is Auma Betty, who hails from Lango sub-region. Now, under the Gender Committee, this is manned by Evako Jessica, an Iron Lady, UPSTU Iron Lady from West Nile. This particular committee helps us to see how we can be able to attract more girls, more female scientists. Gentlemen and ladies listening to me tonight, you will notice that for over a time we have had fewer female scientists. And you could be teaching a class maybe of 10 students when girls are only 2. 10 students, a class of chemistry, and you have only 2 students. You are teaching a class of physics, 10 students, and you have only 1 female student. That has always been the case. But through this committee, UPSTU has continuously engaged in some programs that can be able to bring the girl child up into the science platform. And one of the programs through which we are achieving this is the new mentorship program, where UPSTU Girls in STEM Mentorship Initiative aims to equip teachers with the necessary tools and resources to support in school STEM clubs, promote innovation and enhance participation of girls in the STEM fields. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to expound a little bit on this. If you are able to see my screen as I am able to share it, you will be able to see very important icons there, where, for example, we sent about 10 women from the union. Of course, they are from the schools where you teach, and they were engaging with some whites in the robotics program. Of course, our agenda is we want to see how we can be able to have these women be equipped with more schools, so that when they go to these schools, they can initiate what we call the STEM clubs, where they can mentor these young girls, first of all, to know that science is actually more possible than ever before. It can be done. The science phobia in the female students must be reduced. And of course, we can take a leading role in this. And that's why the union wants to utilize the opportunity of the fewer female scientists that we have, that they can be magnified to make sure that we have more scientists tomorrow. We can get more doctors who are female. We can get more engineers, more researchers who are female, cutters of our union, your union, the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. For purposes of time, I will rush through that. And we want to thank, of course, the people who arranged this program for us, which enabled our women to interact with some, of course, some technical acts from outside the country. Those were some whites, of course, from the UK, Germany, who were taking our female science teachers in some robotics program. And this was conducted at the ICT Hub in Kampala in some couple of months ago. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now dive into this session, very important session of governance, meetings, and coordination. How do we do our activities as a union? We are not a pocket union, ladies and gentlemen. Everything we do must pass through union structure. As I earlier told you, we have the Annual Delegates Conference, which is the top organ. We have, of course, it sits once in accordance with the Constitution. Then we have the National Executive Council, which sits 3 times a year, and its work is to guide the Secretariat, formulate policies and decisions. And then we have the Secretariat, whose work is to implement the decisions and the policies formulated by the NEC and the ADC. And we have been doing that work quite well, ladies and gentlemen. So whatever we do, it's not an idea of one person, of an individual. It is a collective decision. Collective decisions are what we always implement at the Secretariat. No wonder you see our union is of course, has skyrocketed. If I'm to borrow our Honorable Minister of Finance, it has been now, last year was its takeoff, and now, of course, we are somehow flying. That one is being done because we get ideas from all structures. At the region, we have the Regional Executive Council headed by the regional chairperson. Then we have the Regional Council. Of course, it is also under the regional chairperson, which brings together all district coordinators. Then under the district chairperson, the district is headed by a district chairperson, and under him we have school coordinators. Every school is represented. And from there, you of course, be able to come up with ideas through the district, then to the region, then from the regional council to the national secretariat, then to the National Executive Council, and to the ADC. And that makes our union a more inclusive union, ladies and gentlemen. I am not going to talk about the various decisions that have already been made, but one significant decision I can talk about administratively, the NEC has already been engaged in matters of seeing how we can get a permanent residence for the union. And we recently acquired a national head office at Makerere Hill. And of course, those are decisions taken by the National Executive Council and then implemented by the National Secretariat. Now, under administration, finance, ICT, research, legal, audit, and estate management, ladies and gentlemen, all those terms I've mentioned represent a department. Our National Secretariat is highly equipped, ladies and gentlemen, and I think your union is one of the highly structured organizations which is highly organized in a manner that we have a very fully-fledged working National Secretariat with various departments, Department of Finance, Department of ICT, Department of Research, Departments of Legal, we have audit, internal audit department, we have estate management. Estate management, of course, manages our various assets, equipment to make sure they are working properly and they are in good state of repair all the time. The research, of course, works with various committees of NEC to undertake various research. And I have told you there is already a lineup of about 15 projects that have been set, whose concept parts have already been developed, and we are looking towards its implementation and engaging various partners. The audit department, of course, it is a check which, of course, keeps highlighting various areas where we're not doing well. Of course, as a young organization, we can't claim to be perfect. There are areas where we have not done quite well. Now, especially in terms of finance and accountability, we yearn to improve all the time. So the internal audit department does a very good job in checking us on how we handle our income and expenditures. The legal department, of course, various teachers have been helped left, right, especially those who have issues, especially at the places of work, to make sure that their stay is the best. Then ICT and research is also doing very well. We combine these two. ICT is running our platforms quite well, and this Dev Hour has been organized by them. And the various social platforms, Twitter, website. Today they have this day they have developed a website, a database where our membership has been captured online, and very soon we'll be receiving registration online. In administration and finance, ladies and gentlemen, as I earlier told you, we have a lot of staff, and we have to make sure they are paid in time. Their salaries are already paid in time. And of course, as a union that advocates for good working conditions, we want our members to be paid well. We want them to work under good conditions. We cannot now subject our workers to poor working conditions. You must lead by example. That's why we go a long way to care for our people, to make sure that their salaries are paid in time, the NSSF is done in time, statutory deductions are done in time, and also continuously supporting our members who fall into challenges such as those who lose their loved ones. The union, of course, came up with the policy through the welfare department under Kuru Samuel, and we are able to take care of some of the expenses. Then the Secretariat, of course, runs a countrywide interconnected structure of administration and how on managing activities to make sure that the union continues to function as a unit, but of course with as a comprehensive system that covers the entire nation. The estates are earlier said, it does that. Allow me now throw some bit of light on our regional structure. Ladies and gentlemen, the earlier time, of course, important to note, if you are able to see our screen, you should be able to see the status of the current renovation, the renovation of the new head office at Makerere Hill. That's how far it has gone. It has already been roofed. It has been overhauled completely. It is not just renovation, but it is a complete overhaul of the structure. We are totally coming up with a new structure, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be one of the best head offices in the East and Central Africa, in the Africa at large. And we know in 3-4 months' time, we will be able to enter our head office, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me, for purposes of time, rush through the regional structure. Ladies and gentlemen, today, the last time I came on this presentation, I told you about 10, we had 10 operational regional offices. Today, we are proud to mention that we have 14 operational regional offices. If you're able to see our screen, to share it like as I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, you should be able to see one of the highly fledged regional office, Bujisu regional office. It is right on our screen. But we have regional offices in Greater Kampala, located in Greater Kampala City, Greater Masaka, our office is located in Masaka City. Busoga, our office is located in Iganga District. Bugisu, our office is located in Mbale. Bunyoro, our office is located in Hoima. Sebeya, our office is located in Kapchorwa. And Korea, our office is located in Balala City. Lango, our office, regional office is located in Lira. Acholi, our office is located in Gulu City. Teso, our office is located in Soroti City. And West Nile, our office is located in Alua City. Renzoli, our office is located in Fort Portal City. Chijezi, our office is located in Kabare, which I'm told of recent, it may become a city in the near future. Bukedi is located in Tororo City, our regional office. And then Karamoja, our office is located in Moloto, but this one is still under serious upgrade. Now, way forward, ladies and gentlemen, way forward. Having all that I have mentioned, That is a summary of what the union has been doing for the year 2025. And now our focus is on building on the gains of 2025 and the following priorities for the year 2026 ahead. 1. Advance strategic partnership with bilateral agencies, support our project pipeline as a catalyst for science, for national development and transformation. We cannot fund all these projects by ourselves because our resources are meager, and therefore we must engage with partners as much as we can. Secondly, we want now to conclude the renovation and the consolidation of the newly acquired head offices located at Makerere Hill. We want to go to our permanent home as a union, so that we can reduce on the expenses for renting. Number 3, strengthen research, legal literacy, and evidence-based advocacy. Members, we want to ask you that you continue engaging members across the country to always engage the union legal team to help them in managing their legal affairs and issues that may come along as they serve. Number 4, we want to continue advocacy for salary equity, pension reforms, and improved working conditions for all science teachers. We still have people, some head teachers, who are not yet enhanced, and some ICT teachers. The union will not sit back until everybody is covered. We look forward to institutionalize the science innovation projects competition as an annual national flagship program, and I think it has already been rolled out for this year. We want to have it handled, and of course in an approved manner than it was done the last year. Then they strengthen the membership growth and check-off systems, especially in underrepresented regions. We have regions where our representation is not to the latter or to where we want it. Areas like Karamoja, areas like Bunyoro, Bukedi, and Teso, we shall continue, and Echoli, we shall continuously work hard to improve on their membership. Then we want to operationalize the improved Beacon magazine as a national visibility and accountability tool, and then also continue financial literacy and empowerment of members through UPSTU members circle. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, the year 2025 obviously was a standout year. We had a lot of achievements, as I have highlighted, and we look forward to consolidate on those achievements, build on those gains, so that we make year 2026 a spectacular year of achievement in terms of UPSTU as a union. For purposes of time, of course, we need some time to have some interaction, some questions in case there is any. I will request that you allow me stop here for now. I remain Dr. Aron Mugaiga, the Secretary General of the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for always supporting your union. Thank you for being there for your union. And thank you for supporting us always, for God and my country. Okero?
Thank you very much, Doctor, for
Okero, over to you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your presentation. Marvelous. You have made a very marvelous presentation.
Thank
now,
you
members in the House, we are now on the question and answer segment, open sharing segment. If you have any issues which you want clarification, you can raise up your hand, you unmute, and you present what you want to be cleared out. From the chat, perusing the chat, there's a issue of Mr. Wambi differs. He says there's a challenges in Iganga district local government, Bugweri, Mayuge, that is Busoga region. I think you will respond to that. Then from the chat, I have somebody is requesting for Adija a teacher to be added as national group. Yeah, I think the GS is also the admin of the group. You can respond to that. This is what I get from. I do appreciate your effort for out to far the union has moved. You have held national delegate meetings. Shall we also have regional meetings, which I think should have been held before the national meeting? This is a concern from Modo Francis. I think you can respond to those queries as we wait for people to raise their hands.
Thank you very much. From DIFAS over in Busoga, the issue of checkoff, of course, we shall continue working on it. Of course, there are a number of challenges that we have encountered as we are trying to transfer our members, especially from the former unions to our union. So we shall continue handling it. I want to raise the fears of DIFAS and the entire Busoga region that we will not sit back. For Iganga, we shall come there and we, of course, continue to study the situation and have that matter resolved. Then the one who wants to be added on the platform, that one is okay. You can inbox us anytime we shall add you on the platforms. Then regarding the regional meetings, ladies and gentlemen, you will bear with us. These ADCs are normally supposed to take place at the end of the year, but this particular one did not take place because of some unavoidable circumstances and other logistical challenges. And we had to push it for 2026 and conduct it in April. Ideally, these reports that I have highlighted to you should, of course, come from the regions, from the districts, regions, then to the NEC Secretariat, to the NEC, and then to the ADC. Now, regional leadership has been sitting, but the regional councils, I think, didn't sit last year. This year, we shall improve. Thank you very much. I think we have a hand from Joseph Tuinomujuni Okero.
Yes, thank you very much, GS and Doctor. I'd like to appreciate your presentation and all the work that has been done for all the achievements. We celebrate with the whole association. With the challenges, we look forward to working together in order to address them. Joseph Tuinomujuni, I am a tutor at Karnapolokoa Primary Teachers College in Fort Portal in the office of the Deputy Principal Outreach. I want to request GS that in one way or the other, a wider incorporation of the administrators of institutions be brought in, because would like to see the head teachers that are science-based also being drawn closer to our team, and also the administrators of the core primary teachers colleges and other science-based institutions be brought closer, so that we have a stronger and one union, since we are all chasing in the same direction to achieve goals to improve science in our country.
Thank you very much, Tuinomujuni.
GS number 2, I will take note that I want to appreciate that previously you supplied members with the corporate wear. I want to take note that looks like the corporate wear didn't take root. A few people received. In my college, hardly did anyone get. And a number of schools.
Which college is that?
Karnapolokoa Primary Teachers College.
Okay.
Where is it, in Bushenyi?
It is in Fort Portal.
Fort Portal, okay.
That is the Wenzori region.
Yeah.
Tor region. None of my members got a corporate wear. I will be glad. I'll be glad when that is done to the rest of us. Thank you very much.
Joseph Tunumujuni from Portfolio, thank you very much for interacting with us. Corporate wear, as I speak, we have over 1,000 corporate wear at the National Secretariat, which is going to be distributed to the regions of Bukedi, Teso, Bunyoro, and Karamoja. Now, immediately, and the union has also put in an order for an extra corporate wear of 2,000, which is going to handle phase 2 distribution. So we will be particular to your quality to make sure your people receive. Then regarding to engaging these science teachers and administrators, dear Tunumujuna members listening in, the science teachers are already with us. They are under their umbrella, the Association of Science Teachers and Deputies, and we had 4 representatives attending our ADC. Maybe the ones we have not brought on board are the administrators in the core PTCs and all that. So we are going to do that. Then 2, the tutors are already with us. We had 4 representatives of the tutors. Now we are going to look forward to see how we can bring the principals and other administrators in the core PTCs and other science-based institutions to be with us. It's, I think, time, more or less, 1 hour is being has been consumed fully. Thank you very much. Blessed night.
Hello. Good
Hello.
evening, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Mugaiga Aron, the General Secretary, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, very much for this wonderful communications he has given to us. I also would like to thank the audience very, very much. Today's attendance has been marvelous. And I would like to kindly request that members we keep on this nature of attendance because we have a lot of information to give to the union, members, and you are the beneficiaries, not the people who communicate. This chat has been very good, and I would like to request that, dear GS. Yeah, it is time up, but if we still have questions that needs to be attended to, I would kindly request that we give them some time and have some of these questions answered. This is my kind request to you.
It's okay.
So
Yes,
members, if you still ask questions if you have, because the GS today is at your disposal. You could be asking those questions you've been asking your regional chairpersons. By the way, for your information, the centers that have been named beautifully by the GS have got those regional chairpersons. Any question you would like to ask, please make sure that you know your regional chairperson. I have been to certain regions and members express that they do not know their regional chairperson. This is very unfair because the regional chairperson is like the chairperson or the president of that area who should be carrying information for you from the secretariat down there at the grassroots. So if you do not know your regional chairperson, this is when you'll be having so many questions to keep asking. This is my kind request. I see Mr. Chukondo Geoffrey's hand up. You unmute yourself and communicate. Sorry, Jacob, you'll continue. Thank you.
Okay, please. Go ahead. Chukondo Geoffrey.
Otherwise, as we wait for Mr. Chukondo, I just came in without...
Chukondo Geoffrey, can you unmute?
Now I see a question on the chat.
Yes, there are questions on chat.
Will the 10,000, will the 1,000 corporate wear be enough for the 15,000 members? Now, allow me respond to this member that first of all, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Number two, in my report, I highlighted that last year over 3,000 corporate were distributed. Now that means that was 3,000 shirts and blouses plus 3,000 caps. That's about 6,000 items that were distributed in only 1 year, 2025. But also remember, the union has been distributing corporate wear, especially on functions, since 2023. We are expecting that we are lessening the number, and by the time we conclude this year, most of the members will have received. Now, the ones we have on office right now are heading to Bunyoro, as I earlier said, Bukedi, Teso, and Karamoja. That means 1,000 members will be off. I have also told you that we have already released the suppliers who are also going to supply us more 2,000 corporate wear. And even in the budget, this year's budget that was, of course, passed by the ADC, 200 million has been earmarked to procure corporate wear to be distributed to the members. Ladies and gentlemen, we may not cover everybody in 1 year, but step by step, we shall cover all of you. Kindly bear with us, we shall be there. I think there was another issue I saw. Jacob, I don't know whether you noted it, still on the chat.
Thank
Then there
you,
is an element
SG.
of let's have a future plan for insurance for members under welfare activities. Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you very much. This one is from whom? Yes, insurance. Thank you for raising a very important aspect. With insurance, I think it is one of the aspects that is being considered under the welfare in our union under the welfare committee, which I earlier said is headed by Webkuru Sama. And we want to see if we can come up with something that can be able to help our members in the future. Of course, we shall start with, we test it with the leaders first, and then we continue enrolling more members. So that one is one of the future plans that we have. And as soon as the union stabilizes, of course, financially, those are some of the welfare aspects that the union will be able to consider. I think there was another element, Jacob, on the chat.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you, SG.
Yes.
Thank you, SG.
Yes, sir.
Are you able
Please.
to get me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes, Kundo, you can speak.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be part of the union, and I want to thank the SG Aron for the elaborate presentation you have made. And thank you for giving us the highlights of 2025, 2026, and even where we are moving to. All these updates to members actually build us, and they give us a lot of confidence in the union. We thank you very much for that. Now, there's an issue of deputy head teachers who were recently promoted. We were a big number, but currently, in terms of being handled by the districts to access the scale of U2 science, many people are struggling. There was a list that was submitted by UPSTU to Ministry of Education, Human Resources Department for action. This list has deliberately been handled in piecemeals. If you look at the submissions that have been made on several occasions to public service for action, you find a small list which has few names. On another occasion, you find another list. I don't know what criterion they are using to actually make these submissions for people to access. Thank you very much. We request that you interest yourself.
Chikondo, before you go.
Yes.
Your issue particularly is on what? Where is the charity?
Remember, promotions were done. We're supposed to be on U2 scale as a deputy. But then currently, the ministry was giving off scaling. Submission of lists from Ministry of Education to public service for someone to access the scale has been done in piecemeals. You find a list, this This time has been sent with a few names, another time again with other names. So we don't know what criterion they're using to submit those lists, and yet appointments, people have them. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, doctor. Betty, you can talk. You talk. Your hand is up.
Jacob.
Yes, please.
Did you get Kondo's issue? I didn't get it quite well, but I was earlier trying to say on chat, there was one who said, why can't you engage government to also include diploma, grade 5,
Yeah,
also
diploma, yeah.
to
That one
scale,
is
to
it.
graduate scale. Now,
You
what I
respond
want
to
our dear members to understand is that, one, there is hope because starting with last year, there was something that was opened. There is that internal adverts for upgrade of people from diploma to graduate scale. Of course, we know there are people who joined the government on grade 5 scale, and they since upgraded and they have degrees and they are doing work and serving as graduates when they are being paid as diplomas. That one is not lost from us, ladies and gentlemen. It is something we are continuously pushing. And we are also advocating that if there can be a way where people can be promoted without necessarily taking them through the earlier process again of recruitment like they did at the beginning. And of course, we know it is a difficulty pursuit, but we shall continuously pursue it until we can achieve. But now as we speak, I think over 150 people were promoted last year, and we know more will be promoted this year through an internal advert, which people, of course, responded to, and some were upgraded. So we can assure you and raise your fears that the union will continuously pursue this so that those who are already holding degrees and are still on diploma scale, they are also upgraded. So for now, I can only mention that the union will continue pursuing it until it is achieved. Then unfair deductions by UNATU and these unfair deductions, of course, those ones, they are a challenge, they are thorn in our flesh. Recently, we have got some votes where people are deliberately putting these codes on people, forcing them, but we are warning them to desist from that habit because that is a corruption issue. There's no way you can force to deduct somebody's salary without their consent. And we want to call upon all affected members not to get tired. Please inform us, and we will always guide you. We have a fully-fledged law firm that handles our affairs, our issues. Please inform us. However many you may be, we shall continuously pursue your issue until this illegal deduction is ceased. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Hello?
Yes, Jacob, can I say something?
You can talk. You go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Aron, the General Secretary of the Union. I want to appreciate that the members who are present here today could be also part of the people who could have been wondering why there are deductions on a monthly basis from the members of the union, which is being called the 1%. On various forums, I've been seeing these questions coming on time and again, and the 1% has always been tied to distribution of corporate ware. And I don't know if I could also be a little bit behind, where I do not understand why I should contribute 1% as a member of the union. Maybe you could help me together with the members to understand what is the use of contributing 1%. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Betty, for that kind question. Of course, I know several people have always had those questions of the 1%. Now, first of all, by law and by statutory obligation, a member of a union, in accordance to the Labor Unions Act 2006, if you are to be a member of the union, it is mandatory to contribute to that union 1% of your salary on a monthly basis. That is within the law. And your contribution to UPSTU is, of course, mandated within the law. But of course, you have a choice either to join, to belong, or to dissociate. Now, why should a member continue subscribing to UPSTU? Members, Betty talks about corporate wear. Corporate wear is one of the items, one of the areas where we spend that 1%. Of course, we are reaching out to make sure every member receives corporate wear for purposes of corporate identity. That one was one of the sections, if you followed my presentation. But my presentation had been divided into very many other sections. So this union is not only about distributing corporate wear. It is also about protecting your interests. And this is something we have to do on a daily basis. There are things we do not normally come out to tell you, but we go through a lot on a daily basis. And the Secretariat and the National Executive Council are ever engaged on matters of protecting your interests to make sure that your welfare is, of course, not tampered with. As we have been saying, when your salaries were enhanced, of course, you know the history of how your salaries came. It was negotiated by the union. People wanted to take it. In 2018, the money for science teachers came, and it was diverted when it had already been released because we did not have a voice. We did not have a platform like we have today. People took it away from us, and that's how this union came up. We said, no, how can we keep like this? How do we get a voice? Because the people we trusted would defend us, could not do it. And that's why we created this union. And before we created this union, you people were contributing to the previous sister union. Now, today, we managed to get that salary of 4 million and then 2.2 for diplomas, 4 million for graduates. Now, this money has to be protected because people are continuously looking into it to see that they can cut it down. It has to be protected. Recently, you must have also watched us. When this enhancement was done, not all received. After about 54% of the science teachers received science pay enhancement. It was the law of the union to fight for the remaining 46% to be put on the science scale. And right now, as we speak, we are now slightly over 95%, where we are still remaining with the ICT teachers who are continuously being fought to be removed. Those who have art subject alongside ICT. The head teachers, you saw the battles we fought last year for head teachers, but one. Then last year, you saw the battle we fought for tutors. Members, we must strengthen this platform that God has given us. We must support it. And the only way you can support this union is by giving us that mandatory 1% subscription. And I can tell you, we are using that money quite well. First of all, I can tell you the achievements of the year, 1 year. All those I gave you here are achievements of 1 year. Of course, they can't come without funding. These other programs I've been telling you all have to be funded. And that's how we utilize your 1%. And many other things. Of course, for purposes of time, I will not go into everything of them. But please do not undermine what the union is doing. Do not undermine what the union is doing.
Thank you, Doctor. Time is not our best ally. I'm now calling Betty as the chairperson of Education Committee to give some highlights, and then Doctor give the last parting shot later. Betty, over to you. Any communication you want to make?
Oh, thank you very much, moderator, for today's Prodeva work. Thank you very much, Dr. Aron, the General Secretary of the Union, for accepting our humble invitation to come and talk to your people. I am one of the people who is very satisfied with the answers you have given, with the discussions we have had, and I'm very, very pleased to confirm that I will be one of the people who will continue to contribute, because I have understood that I am a funder of my union. Without my 1%, the union cannot exist. Members, with the very many programs that has been mentioned, Education Committee is taking lead only in making sure that some of these programs come to pass. But the key players are you, the members. At the moment, we have enrolled the Project Innovations 2026. We are already sending messages to different personalities, the patrons, the members of the union, to inform or remind the members that the deadline for submission of our projects is on the 30th of this month, remembering that the term is ending on the 1st of May. So I want to kindly request us that let us be ambassadors, or to making many people submit their projects for competition this year. And please kindly feel free to communicate to us any things you would like us to include in the program, so that the program is not only seen to be run by the Secretariat only, but all of us become the key players. And I use this opportunity to remind us that our project innovation competition starts with regional competitions, which is scheduled for second term. And in Western, we are going to be at Fort Portal City. In Eastern, we are going to be at Ginger City. In Northern, we are going to be at Arua City. And Central, we are going to be at Masaka City. So I would like all of us to kindly participate and remind the teachers to prepare the learners before they go home. They must have submitted their projects. That submission is not strictly for vetting. It is a kind of registration that we would like to take. And therefore, as you submit your projects, please know that you are only registering the project for competition, so that we know that you are there. I want to thank you again very much this evening. Thank you for all the support you have given, as I now invite Dr. Aron to give his concluding remarks for today's ProDev Hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Betty, the chair of the Education Committee. By the way, we are proud of you for the good work you are doing. Thank you, Jacob. Jacob is the Vice National Treasurer. Thank you for
Doctor.
manning this today's ProDev Hour as the moderator. Thank you, dear members across the country. Thank you, dear science teachers, for the good work you are doing. Thank you for embracing the new content-based curriculum. Thank you for coming out to serve the country. Thank you for serving the young and the future generation of this country. And I want to say you are the shapers of the future of Uganda. And the country is proud of you. The government is proud of you. Thank you for supporting your union. And thank you for supporting us as your leaders. You encourage us, and your support, of course, makes us to think deeper, not to sit, not to look back, but rather to pursue the interests of every science teacher, every science administrator out there. And we shall remain committed to your cause as much as we can. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed night for God and my country. Dr. Aron Mugaiga, Secretary General, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union.